Hi everyone, Grandmaster Ben Finegold here again with our video of the day. Well, I'm getting more donations and I'm getting more crazy comments. I guess they go hand in hand. So I guess if that's the case, more crazy comments, please. Okay, so I'm playing the match tonight against the San Diego, I guess they're the Surfers. Yeah, we're going to win 10-6, I'm guessing. And my estimate was actually we'll get 4 points on board 1, 3 on board 2, 2 on board 3, 1 on board 4. That equals 10. We have Wesley So, Varakobi, and myself, and Nicholas Rosenthal, and they have like Rufus and Doofus and the triplet. Okay, they're just like a joke team. Yeah, I don't think we're going to get tested at all unless we play Montreal. They seem to have a reasonable team. The other teams are just awful. In the finals, we'll probably play Marseille, and I don't see this. We beat them pretty easily, so it's sort of a foregone conclusion that we're going to win the Pro Chess League. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to break habit here and show a game I lost because it's really interesting, and I missed a win. So, yeah. In 2011, I was supposed to play a match with Victor Korchnoi, and we were all set at the St. Louis Chess Club. And then he got sick, and he couldn't travel abroad. He was in a wheelchair, and then he didn't play. So then I got an opponent who was 65 years younger, Ray Robson, and we played a 6-game slow match. And then we played 4 games of rapid for some reason. While we were doing that, Nakamura was pummeling Ponomarev at the same time. Pummeling Ponomarev. Okay, so let's see. I can't say that because I'm making a video. Darn. If I could say what I wanted to say, man, I'd get in a lot of trouble. Okay, so yeah, the score of the match was 4-2. The Robson match where I lost. Then we played 4 rapid games, and that was a tie 2-2. Okay, in 2011, Ray wasn't anywhere near as good as he is now, and I was probably a little better than I am now. So he was maybe 40 or 50 points higher rated than I am now, or than I was then. Okay, so Ray played e4, and I played my accelerated dragon, which I like to play, and he would play like a dragon. So he liked to play, not with c4, but play a mainline dragon. And in this position, which is very common, we have a dragon Sicilian, except it's a main line, except you can imagine that White's bishop is on c4, and he's playing queen d2. Then there's a million games. But he's voluntarily playing bishop b3. Before I've played, knight e5 or rook c8, something to attack his bishop. So slightly less accurate, but that's all you can do in this line. And if you want to play a regular dragon against the accelerated dragon, this is what you do. Okay, and he played h4. Earlier in the match and in some prep, you could play queen d2, and then I take on d4 and push out my queenside pawns. And that's actually a big difference between this and the regular dragon, because now the b pawn isn't hanging, because his bishop's on b3. If his bishop was on c4, I would just be losing a pawn here. And then you follow up with a5, and there's a ton of theory. Okay, and actually I used this prep with Robson to beat Tullius Shetty a week later in the Chicago Open. So, okay, so instead of queen d2, he played h4, trying to get out of prep. I took anyway and played b5, h5, a5. We're still both in our prep. Takes on g6, takes on g6, which is legal. F takes g6, illegal. And he played knight d5. Okay, and obviously I'm threatening to just push all my queenside pawns and harass him. Okay, bishop e6, and here we're both out of our prep. Then we start thinking. Very interesting, complicated, double-edged position, which is not good for me. It's good for Ray. But in this particular match, I was preparing a lot for each game. And normally in the opening, I was getting the better of the opening against him. I would specifically prepare for what he did. Ray doesn't change his prep. And then he didn't know what I was going to do. I just played 6 different openings with with white and black. And he was just confused every game because he had no idea what I was going to do. And I always knew what he was going to do because he always plays the same stuff. So that worked out well for me. But even when I was winning and the games got complicated, I would mess up. Okay, so I played bishop e6. He took on f6. I took back. And he played queen d3. I can't play a4 and win his bishop because he plays bishop e6. And the idea behind queen d3 is if this trade ever does happen, that his queen's on my g-pawn, and he also obviously wants to castle, And maybe he can play f4, f5, and queen h3. So queen d3 is pretty good. Also threatens a pawn. And queen d3 is a good move. Okay, so I played d5. Always play d5 in the Sicilian. He took the pawn on b5, which is correct. I took on e4. He castled. Basically, all his moves this game were correct until they weren't. And I took on b3. He took with the queen. I played a4, attacking his queen. Played queen e3. And all these moves are good. And after the move a3, he correctly again played b3. And I took on f3. And he took on f3. And I played rook e8. Now, if we go back a move, actually, queen takes f3 was probably his only mistake in the game until the end. The computer says he should play bishop c5 here, and that attacks my queen and my rook. And it gives some long crazy line and says that white's better. Well, Ray gets into time trouble every game. This game was no exception, because Ray likes to play sharp and play accurately and never play even a tiny mistake, and he did a great job here. Queen takes f3 is his first tiny little mistake. I played rook e8, which is a good move because I stopped the bishop c5 idea. My rook's good on the e line. And here white's better, but he didn't prosecute his advantage the best way. Played g4, which is okay. Yeah, well, you'll see what he wants to do. He wants to mate me. I played rook c8, which is good. He played king b1, which is correct. Always play king b1. And I played queen e7, which is okay. He played queen h3, sort of mean of him. In this position, the best move, according to the engine, is c4, which is explosive. That's a hard move to play in time trouble, even if you're not in time trouble. And obviously, the endings favor white, because white has two connected passed pawns on the queen side, and I have no passed pawns. So we have a really double-edged dragon-type position, and the only reason I'm still in the game is that I played pretty well so far, which is unusual, but I'm lucky because Ray's always in time trouble, and this game was sharper than most. There was a lot of captures and tricks and pins and everything, and opposite side castling. So it was easy for either side to make a mistake, and Ray doesn't like doing that, so Ray takes his time, gets into time trouble. So queen h3 is a small mistake. Queen e4, and I think this is where he made the losing move, blundered here. Actually, computer says any reasonable move for white is equal. So I'm threatening queen c2 check, obviously. So, like rook h2, rook d2, rook d3, any normal way to stop, queen takes c2 check, the computer says is all zeros, which is hard to believe. I guess that means if the engine plays itself, it's going to be a draw. But Ray was in time trouble and actually made a really bad move here. And because of his really bad move, he won the game quickly because I couldn't figure it out. And I actually had time on my clock. I just couldn't figure it out. He played the move g5. This is a blunder. And I played queen c2 check. And normally when I play Ray and he makes a move that I think is a blunder, I know that it's not. And I try to figure out why. And then I'm like, oh, that's why. And then I do something else. And I was like, well, rook e2 is obviously winning for black. So that means Ray has some trick I don't see. So I looked at every check, every capture, everything. Obviously, I'm threatening queen takes a2 mate if I play rook e2. And you can't defend a2. So he'd have to mate me. And I looked at everything I could possibly look at except the right moves. And I actually thought a long time because I was surprised that he would allow rook e2. And instead of saying he's Ray Robson, there's no way he allowed rook e2 if it's good, I said, well, okay, he was in time trouble. He miscalculated. So instead of thinking for 10, 15 minutes here, I thought for 5. And I made a move that loses immediately. We're going to get back to this position. You're going to have to pause your video later, but not yet. Okay, rook e2. And actually, you could pause your video now. This is a secondary question. I guess for Ray, it's the most important one. White to play and win. And this is actually very funny. If you put this on an engine, but don't do that, it says mate. Every move is mate. And the reason is the best move for white is mate for white, and the second best move for white is mate for black. So there's no number evaluations here. It's somebody's mating somebody. And unfortunately, I just missed what he could do. I thought I saw every legal way of playing, but I didn't. Pause your video here. White to play and win. And we're back. Okay. Well, some of you are still thinking, so let's see. Donald Trump is terrible. No, that's not good. You guys already know that. Let's see. More Trump stuff. No, that's not good. All right, let's get back to chess. Okay, so I'm checkmating him, but his checkmate trumps mine. Okay, so he played queen h7. I played king f8. If you still haven't figured it out, pause your video here. You get one more chance. See, I'm a nice guy. I'll give you 2 chances. I'll even give you 2 chances to donate. Okay, pause the video. What's the winning move for white? Yep, that's right. Queen takes g7 check. And I saw queen h8 check. I saw bishop c5 check. I saw queen g8 check. I don't know why I missed this. Obviously, if I take, it's mate. And then rook h8 is mate. And if I don't take, it's also mate. Going to e7 allows everything winning. And going to e8, he plays queen g8 check. And I knew that I was losing because I calculated where I lose all my pieces with check. He was surprised I resigned, or he thought I should run my king out and hope that I can stop the checks, but you can't stop the checks. Okay, so let's get back to the future here. So black has 3 moves here which give him the advantage, but 1 move actually just wins, where he's over +2. And that's easily the hardest puzzle I've ever given you guys, so I don't expect anybody to find it. I wouldn't expect a grandmaster to find it. So pause your video. What's the best move for black? Okay, we're back again. Moves that give black the advantage are just moves that defend f6. So rook e6, rook c6, and black's up like +1, +1.1. But the real powerhouse move is rook e5. Okay, that's an amazing move because it not only defends f6 from the bishop, it threatens to take this pawn, 2 different ways. It basically puts the end to like white's attack. If you like grabbing material, you're not going to like what the engine says here. The engine says black is more than +10, and the only way to stop mate is to give up your queen, because we're threatening queen b2 mate and e4 discovered check, and that's just too strong. And white has no attack here. The computer gives a long, crazy, insane, complicated line. I think it's check, takes, check, and then here, and then here, and then I think queen f5, and this. And it says black is +2 here. You can't win the queen by doing this, and then rook h8 check, because I have f6. Never play f6 except here, then play f6. So this is the final position of the analysis that I saw, and it said black is +2. Obviously, my king is safer than his, and I have 2 connected pass pawns. So, and basically, he can never take my rook because I'll give him the smackdown. His king is too open. So that was best play according to the engine after rook e5, which I never considered in my life. And I didn't really look at rook e6 or rook c6, which give black the advantage, because I thought I was mating him with rook e2. And the game did end in mate, just not the way I expected. Okay, so after losing that game, I know you feel sorry for me. So go to my website, the Chess Club and Scholastic Center of Atlanta, the atlchessclub.com. Follow me on Twitter and Facebook. And remember, the more you donate, the more losses. Well, wait a minute. I have to show more losses if you donate? Ugh. Okay, well, I'll show you wins and losses, even at the same time. The mysteries of life. This is Grandmaster Ben Finegold. Remember to root for the St. Louis Archbishops. We're playing tonight against the San Diego Surfers. Go Archbishops. Peace out, y'all.